What's going on, y'all? It's JD Piquel. Today on the Hard Count, we're going to talk about what we liked and what we didn't like about Quinn Ewers' first start. Welcome into the Hard Count, the people show for every single thing that you know and that you love about college football. It happens here on a daily basis. Nick Brake does the heavy lifting. You can help drive the show by subscribing to the channel. Quinn Ewers got his first start for the University of Texas at Austin against Louisiana Monroe, and we're going to talk about the things that we maybe didn't like so much, but the things that we also did like, and then at the end of this video, going to give you a grade for us on what we thought Quinn Ewers looked like in that first start. So let's just get right into it. In the first drive, I thought he pressed a little bit. I didn't love the way that he tried to force the ball downfield. Maybe it wasn't there. I mean, he really could have thrown 2 interceptions on that first drive in terms of decision-making. He tried to go deep to Worthy. Safety had a good shot at it. And then he rolled out and sort of forced the ball into a spot that he just can't do that at the college level, even against Louisiana Monroe. And so that made me a little bit concerned. I think I also would have liked to see him step up in the pocket a little bit more. There were times where I felt like he wasn't pressured as much as he maybe felt like he was. Could have stuck in there and instead had some happy feet, rolled out, got himself away from his offensive line. And I want to just say this too. The happy feet and the pocket presence in your first start, I think that's fine. I'm not calling home and saying we have big issues with Quinn Ewers because of what he did in this first start from a presence standpoint, because that's going to come. He's going to get more comfortable at the college level. He's going to get more comfortable in this offense. At the same time, too, he's got a young offensive line. So the fact that he is already sort of sensing that there might be times where he has to escape pressure, that's okay, but I want to make sure he does it situationally and not just out of a tick, if you will, not just out of habit of feeling, okay, this play isn't developing how I want it to. I feel like I need to roll out. It's not necessarily the best habit to develop for Quinn Ewers. But all that's to say, there's a lot to like still. There was still a lot to take away that I did like from Quinn Ewers. And the first thing is you can see the talent. You can see the playmaking ability from this guy. His first touchdown pass obviously sort of evaded and got the ball out to Sanders and had a nice touchdown pass there. You also saw there was another play where he stepped up into the pocket. As the game sort of developed, he got more comfortable. He stepped up into the pocket, avoided the rush, made a lot of really great throws that are off platform. And that's the thing you heard a lot about him coming out of high school is he's really great when he doesn't have a perfect setting to throw the football from, meaning his feet aren't set. He's on the run. Maybe he's running away from somebody else. Maybe he has to throw the ball on the move. He has so much arm talent, and that's why he draws that Pat Mahomes comparison from other people. He has so much arm talent, he can just sort of flick the wrist and swing it in there. And I saw that a couple times from him in this game to where, do we want to see that every single snap? Do we want to see that every single time the play breaks down? Well, not if you don't have to, but when you do have to, it's a really great luxury to have as a quarterback and as an offense. And I think that's why we saw Steve Sarkisian ultimately go with him. That high ceiling, that arm talent, the playmaking ability, the talent, all of that was on display in flashes in Austin in this first start. We talked about the happy feet and how we didn't love that. Maybe it caused him to miss on some throws and look a little bit uncomfortable in the pocket. But as the game wore on, I really appreciated how he sort of settled in and just took what the defense gave him. Some of the best throws that I saw from Quinn Ewers in that first start were checkdowns. Hey, what I want deep downfield isn't there. I'm going to check it down. From a quarterback in his first start who had so much success at the high school level because of what he did throwing the ball downfield, because of what he did at South Lake Carroll, being able to go 4 verts and hit his man wherever he wanted to at the high school level. To be able to sort of ratchet that down and understand, okay, this is college now. I can't just go deep every other play. To be able to check it down and to play within the system, I think is really, really encouraging for Longhorn fans. Because that's the one thing you worry about with a young quarterback who has the makeup of a Quinn Ewers, like we talked about, with so much talent, is, okay, is he going to think this is still the high school ranks where, okay, at the end of the day, I'm just better than everybody on the field. At the end of the day, I got an S on my chest underneath this Longhorns jersey, and folks, when the lights come on, I'm him, and that's that. Because that's how it worked at the high school level. So a lot of maturity and honestly high football IQ from Quinn Ewers to know that he has to just take what the defense gives him. Now, does that continue throughout the season? Going to be crucial, because that first drive I thought he did kind of press, but as the game wore on, I liked how he improved in his decision making. So what does all of this mean? Well, this is his first start against Louisiana Monroe. How much do you want to draw from that, I think, is up to you. I'm just saying, okay, he looked like he was in command. And that was a thing that I was probably most impressed by. There was no half-stepping with him. There was no, I don't know if I should take the football here. Whenever he decided to release the football, whenever he decided to make a throw, or whenever he decided on where he was going with that football, it was made full speed. Even if it wasn't the right place to go, he was delivering it 100 miles an hour. And most of the time it was the right place to go, for the record. Really definitive decisions that were made. So the confidence and the command was encouraging to me, and that's going to develop over the season. So in terms of a grade for Quinn Ewers, and again, it's the first start. I don't know how many times we got to say it wasn't against Alabama, because that's coming next week. This week now, I suppose. I give him a B+. Looked in command. After he settled in after that interception, he looked more confident, more poised, more definitive, and you saw the talent on display. All things that make you go, okay, I get why he's the guy in Austin. I get why he's our quarterback. It's an observation. It's not a definitive statement just yet, but from what you can draw from one game, I think you should be encouraged. There's nothing to deter you from being on the Quinn Ewers train if you're a Texas fan. I will also say this. From week 1 until the end of November, teams change, and with that, players change, especially your quarterback who got his first ever start in a college game. I've used this example on this show before, but in marriage, they tell you in premarital counseling, they tell you whoever you get married to on your wedding day will be a different person than on your 30-year anniversary. I haven't been married 30 years, but that's what they tell me. I would assume the same is true for your starting quarterback from game 1 to the end of November. Quinn Ewers will look different from a decision-making standpoint, from a confidence standpoint, from a presence standpoint in the pocket than he did on his opening game, than he will against Baylor, than he will against Oklahoma. He's going to look different as the season wears on, because this isn't just machine that you plug in and you sort of get the settings right and then you go. No, living, breathing human being who learns, develops, progresses as he gets more data, as he gets more experience. And so to start off with a B+ in your first game for us, I think that's solid. And that's the word I would use to describe his first start. First drive, yeah, you don't love some of those throws. I don't love him forcing it into coverage. I don't love the interception on his second throw. But as a whole, solid. After that, settled in, made some good throws, made some good decisions, and flashed the skill set a little bit. All that's to say, I'm excited to watch him against Bama. I don't think that after the Alabama game, we need to go ahead and say he is the Heisman Trophy winner or, wow, he's a bust. Because if Alabama comes in there and does what they're supposed to do, Alabama is a product that is further developed than Texas. Now, we're going to preview this game on our Wednesday night show, so make sure to check that out. But I'm just saying, everybody hold their conclusions on Quinn Ewers for a few weeks. Let's get some more sample size in there. Let's get a few more data points, and then we can start to talk about what this kid is going to be. All right? Good. That's it for us here on The Hard Count. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at JD Piquel. Follow me on Instagram at JD Piquel. We want to involve y'all as much as possible. 2 really easy mediums for us to do that. Also, we're on podcast. Apple and Spotify are both linked in the description of this video. Make sure you are checking that out. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.